Mark Gilman, along with Western Oregon head coach Arne Ferguson, and coach 3 straight wins and probably the best football game of the season for the Wolves down at Humboldt State this last week.
It was first of all, the competition we played, Humboldt, has been leading the conference in numerous categories, from defense to offense. They stumbled a little bit against Central Washington and knew that they'd really regroup and be a tough ball game for our players. But they're very motivated, and they came out on fire with an early pick on a quarterback that had 0 interceptions until our game with them, and really were able to put a nice offense, defense, and special teams all together at once. And offensively really did a nice job of taking care of the football, except for a late fumble. So it's nice to see what we can do. We're still not at 100%, but our players are getting stronger. They're staying healthy, even though we've lost 2 All-Americans, one on the offense center for some time. Not sure when you're going to get him back, and then Gavin Drake. So for a player, the next player to be able to step in, shows a lot to our depth, and then also the motivation of our players against a very good team. That the last time, honestly, we played down there, it didn't come out our way whatsoever.
Plenty of key players to talk about in this ball game. Let's talk with some of the intangibles on special teams. Devin Wells was a beast.
You know, Devin is just all over the field for us on defense. He's also our long snapper, and then he does a great job of punt coverage and just being physical. And for him to be 245 and be able to run like he can and have a pop snapping, you know, even with some fingers that are banged up, shows a lot about his character and work ethic to play that many downs in a football game.
He looked good. Craig Akins, who was the player of the week for the week previous, still very strong. And despite kind of pasting together that front defensive line, they were very, very impressive from start to finish.
Yeah, we've been fortunate to develop some players in our interior, what allows Craig Akins and even John Benton to go out on our exterior at times. And those guys are 280, 290. And are very physical, and they're doing a really nice job of collapsing the pocket against, we think, one of the 2 better offensive tackles in our conference.
And also on the offensive side, not to be outdone, again, Cody Von Oppen did a good job of running the offense, and he gave the ball to Joe Harris, who had a whale of a ball game as a redshirt freshman.
Yeah, Kenny Haynes is our starter and does really good things on inside and outside. Joe Harris really did a phenomenal job on outside runs. He, was unmentioned GNAC Player of the Week last week. And credit also has to be for Joe, having over 23 yards or something like that. Receivers blocking downfield did a really good job, the best they have all season. And our offensive line is still getting stronger and developing, because we've had quite a few transitions. Right now we feel like we've lost 3 starters, and we had to replace 3 starters from last year. So you're down your 7th and 8th, really. And to see those guys start to mold together against a very good defensive team of Humboldt.
Now, of course, you can't rest on your laurels, and it was a great ball game to everybody absorbed on the bus ride home. Now you face a Dixie State team that, had a very good game against you in Utah, coming off a phenomenal win against Central Washington. And to say you guys aren't motivated as a group to beat these guys would be an understatement.
Dixie is much better team than people anticipate. It's no fluke that they beat Central Washington. I know we played Central Washington ahead of them, and they came back in overtime. It was almost a game completely opposite, where Dixie came back at their place with some crucial plays on defense and offense. We know that we have to contain their running game like they did last week against the #1 rusher in our conference. Now they have a very physical fullback that's a good rusher, half tailback, half fullback. And then they also have a running back that can really take it. That hurt us last year. Last game that we played in critical situations. But their quarterbacks have 2 quarterbacks that are really throwing the ball almost 75% against solid receivers that really have a knack of just getting open and do a tremendous job of catching the football.
The way the season has gone it's just been outright crazy in some ways. You got 4 teams at the top of the standings here, and everybody seems to be on an equal footing here in this conference this year.
Well, yeah, and I saw this coming 3 years ago, where the GNAC conference is becoming very competitive. Everybody's bridging the gap closer to Central Washington, and then schools that are really going out and getting quality recruits, whether it's Simon Fraser, their D-line, or their receiver, and their quarterback. I mean, everybody has a very good quarterback receiver tandem and big guys up front. So it is kind of very equal all the way across the board. So the last time we played at Dixie, turnovers was a key, and we must contain the football like we have in our 3 wins, because that'll be the number one key to this game. And also defensively, be able to control a team that almost had 500 yards passing against, we think, a very good Central Washington defense. So definitely have our hands full. And they're going to force, Cody Van Oppen to throw the football more. We also hopefully will see Trey in there at times. We'll package for him, and we'll see how that goes. So we're really covering all our bases, and we must use all our weapons against a very good Dixie team.
As always, Coach Arne Ferguson, thanks for your time and good luck.
Thanks, Mark.